The roofing industry is broken, and we've got the fix. At Hire a Pro, we help homeowners do the same thing a roofer would do when it hails on their own house. Own the project, delegate the tasks, and keep the compensation. But you don't have to take my word for it. You could ask Chrissy. Chrissy, how'd it go?
It went great. You educated us on how everything worked, showed us behind the curtain, so to speak, and after our $25,000 roof was replaced, we walked away with almost $6,000 for the work we put in.
And what work was that?
We got the permit and we picked the color. Hire a Pro handled everything else. You did a great job, and I'm not even being paid to say that. If anyone's listening and has a storm damage claim, call them. Don't hire a roofer, hire a pro.
That's awesome. I appreciate the kind words, and I think you just made up our new motto. All right, Joe, you're up.
So if insurance has approved your roof replacement, give these guys a call at 651-402-3400 or visit them online at hirea.pro. That's hire, and then put the dot there, pro.
Mishki here, joining the GL world to pitch my new podcast, which now comes out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. The show features an extraordinary array of exotic circus performers, forgotten Hollywood starlets, reclusive Fortune 500 CEOs, professional taxidermists. Yep, wait a minute, that's a different promo. Where's the promo for GLers? Here it is. Let's try this again. Mishki here, pitching my new podcast. We're out of time? Could I do it again?
I'm rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1625. Later in the show, I'll tell you when we're going to reach our 2000th show. September 23rd, 2025, 90 degrees on 3 occasions, 1891, 1937, and 2017. 30 degrees in 1983, and a trace.
Trace?
A trace. The first trace.
Huh?
1928.
Wow.
Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I'd like to read you a letter from a GLer who is instructing us through her words. She's offering an example of how GLers view the world and treat it with civility. It's none other than Katie Tierney, who accused me once of...
You didn't remember her.
Completely forgetting who she was.
We know who the Tierneys are.
But then I saw her at the fair. We had a nice chat.
Yeah.
She's from East Union, Minnesota.
Just outside of Carver.
If you say so.
A tooth stone's throw from St. Cloud.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you.
It was pretty good. I watched the entire Turning Point USA presentation at Northrop, meaning I believe that was yesterday.
Yes, sir.
An impressive event, no doubt, but as a proud female GLer, I left with a problem and a concern. A young woman stood up and asked for advice for her upcoming marriage. Michael Knowles, filling in for Charlie Kirk, told her to get rid of feminism. That broke my heart. What he said boiled down to do whatever your husband wants. That's not okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Today's feminism is broken. I'll admit that. But Knowles' answer was lazy, especially after some creepy dude had earlier suggested repealing the 19th Amendment to solve all of America's woes. Women fought hard for the right to vote. Throwing that away is nonsense. What we should get rid of is the lie that a career matters more than family, or that ending a child's life is fine if it helps your resume. What we should get rid of is the myth that woman doesn't need a man, when children desperately need fathers and women thrive with real support. Men and women serve different purposes in family and in life. That's natural. What's not natural is discarding classical feminism, the kind that says if a woman can meet the same standard as a man, she should have the same shot. Noel's get rid of feminism line is something I bet 90% of female GLers would reject. I even joked before my wedding about saying love, honor, and obey. But the truth is, neither my husband nor I obey each other. We work together. That's why our 4 kids are thriving. So I hope Charlie's message doesn't get twisted with anti-women rhetoric. Charlie was not anti-woman. He wasn't racist. He was a decent human being. He loved everyone. And that's the message worth carrying forward. Always pushing back, even when it's unpopular. Katie Tierney, the forgotten GLer. You're not forgotten. Now that is a civil way to deal with Kirk and his message.
I disagree. Right, sure. I disagree, but you know what?
That's wonderful. There's how you live. Right there. Right there.
I can't believe he would say that. Wow.
Well, she might have been on track, pointing out that she thought that was lazy of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wonderful, wonderful remarks. There's your world right there. There it is.
Got it.
Thank you.
I was encouraged by an emailer to do a little digging on Ilhan Omar. You want today's Ilhan Omar?
I was just about to get there.
So you got some background on the current congresswoman?
Here is your latest Ilhan Omar report on Garage Logic.
You know, Brian Matura did a little digging, and I took his cue, and I did a little digging. Now, granted, it's from Wikipedia, and I don't know how much trust people want to place in Wikipedia, but just a routine reading of the of her average biomaterial can sometimes be revealing. And if I've read her complete Wikipedia bio, it's been a while, but I came across this under the heading Early Career.
Early career. Prior to being a congressional
That's right.
representative.
That would be the early part.
Okay.
Omar began her professional career as a community nutrition educator at the University of Minnesota, working in that capacity from 2006 to 2009 in greater Minneapolis-St. Paul. Period. Now, I don't know that I'm willing to go as far as Brian, but he would suggest that's telling, isn't it? He calls it a little bit like getting hired as a teller before the big heist 6 months away.
So is Brian suggesting that perhaps...
Well, he wrote, reading up on Ilhan Omar, I learned something. Maybe you already knew this or forgot, but in 2012, 2013, she worked for the Department of Education, specifically as a child nutrition outreach coordinator. Well, now, wait a minute. I don't see that. I thought it was 06 and 07, early career. Maybe she went from there to... I'm not finding that.
Mine said U of M, 2006 to 9.
Yeah.
And then in 12, worked for Carrie.
Carrie Diedzig.
Yes.
Let's not forget her ties to the Safari restaurant, which was ground zero for the food fraud. Walter Hudson believes we should have Walter on again. Why don't you make a note of that and do it?
I did text him last week, but I will send him an email right now.
Let's not forget her ties to the Safari restaurant, which was ground zero for the food fraud. Walter Hudson believes the fraud is an elaborate scheme to fund Democrats for re-election. It sure looks that way, but I would also add it could also have been a way for Ilhan to fund her personal campaign in the beginning, and her Somali brothers and sisters just got too greedy, and it exploded because the ball got rolling, and they realized they could keep going without it being stopped. I also believe the fraudsters were tipped off to put their earnings overseas, which is apparently untouchable, according to Joe Thompson. The ball is rolling, too, for us to have Joe Thompson as a guest. Joe Thompson needs more than blurbs from Wikipedia to make a case, but it sure seems suspicious to me. As far as Heather Mueller, Jody Harpstead, and now Eric Grumdahl was the only one who really raised a red flag with his timely dismissal, because he was supposed to testify the following day. And let's face it, the temperature of the fraud investigations is a lot higher currently than when Heather Mueller and Jody Harpstead fled. Even though Heather and Jody resigned, I bet the conversation went something like when an NFL coach or a CEO resigns. Sorry, it's not personal, but we have to let you go with all this media pressure. We won't fire you. We'll just say you resigned. I think that there is a perception that Heather and Jody rode off into the sunset unscathed, whereas Eric Grumdahl got fired or was let go. Tim Walz appointed all three of those people. Therefore, in my opinion, he is directly involved in their departure, no matter how or when they left. He's putting up roadblocks. Now, I don't know where he's getting his information that Ilhan had ties to the Safari restaurant. I did not come across that in my reading of her. But it wouldn't surprise me. It seemed, who was it that said if you want to get elected, you have to go through the Safari restaurant? Wasn't that Omar Fateh?
I believe so.
It seems that successful Somali politicians have found some sort of base camp at the Safari restaurant, and the Safari restaurant was indeed a significant player in the food fraud scandal. So maybe she had a relationship with the Safari restaurant. I don't know that.
We don't know.
I don't know. But it does seem factual that she had her hand in the food business. I wonder if all the scam artists in the country had a big convention someplace.
How did they get onto this? That's what I want to know.
Maybe they went to Vegas and they had a convention. They say, we need one thing. What one thing can we use to commit fraud? And at the very least, it'll take a while for people to catch on because it's so bulletproof. No one's going to contest it because we're going to be doing something so seemingly nice. And then they came up with feeding kids.
Do you think it had to do with maybe there wasn't enough food in Somalia? That was a problem there, and they could transfer that to
I don't know.
Somali kids not eating?
Doesn't that just seem like it's such a bold idea that it's dumb?
It's not so dumb because who's going to look how long it took for people to question the very idea of, really, are you feeding that many kids? In fact, nobody ever questioned it.
But there would be somebody within the party that would go, are you out of your bleeping mind? You're going to get caught.
Yeah. It's
well, locks are for honest people. That's
it's
what.
Worthy speculation.
You got to have Walter on, and you've got to ask him the tough questions, which I know you'll do.
Oh yeah, and Joe Thompson too. I can't wait. These are people that aren't afraid to speak up.
And as far as Wikipedia goes, you know how that runs, right?
I provided my disclaimer.
Yeah.
I provided my disclaimer. Yeah. I don't know anything about Wikipedia. What I do understand about it is anyone can contribute to it.
Yeah, that's generally true, yes.
If I may, the American Experiment reported a few years back her relationship with the Safari. Let's see, Alpha News and other outlets reporting on campaign donations received by Omar from figures associated with the Safari restaurant. Her relationship with the establishment goes back to the beginning of her political career as a candidate for state rep. She listed Safari as a vendor, according to records on file at the State Campaign Finance Board. Records show 2 events were held for her at the restaurant, one event in each of the years 2016 and 2017, and the relationship continued after she made the jump to the U.S. Congress. So obviously, at least, she's very familiar with the Safari.
Well, I'll be damned. How could she not be? It seems like it's the clubhouse for Somali political ambition.
Yes.
In May of 2020, her federal campaign had spent almost $10,000 at the venue over the years on food, beverage, and space rental.
Really?
Wow. Do you remember her run in 2016 when she beat Mohammed Noor and Phyllis Khan in the primary and then went on almost uncontested in the general election?
I do.
She was running against a Somali American known as Abdi Malik Asker.
Okay.
Another activist in Somali American community there. He, in late August, announced his withdrawal from the campaign. She won the general election. Why did he withdraw? Does anybody remember?
No, I do not. I do not.
Do you know the answer? Oh.
I wish I
know the
did.
answer, yeah.
There's no link here to find out either.
Yes, you in the back.
Okay. Allegedly.
4 allegedly covers you.
Wasn't that the same campaign where a staffer was murdered during the...
Whoa.
Or is that a different... I know it was someone running against Ilhan. But to answer Kenny's question...
You're going to have to come up with some facts rather than that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
We talked about it at length on the show.
I don't recall talking about it.
Okay.
Well, I don't doubt you. I just don't recall it.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
There was a dust-up when she was managing Andrew Johnson's campaign for city council. That was in 2013, Chris.
Is that the one I'm thinking of then?
Maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Well, I do think it's interesting to note that almost from the point of her arrival in the United States, she apparently aspired to a political career. She hasn't done anything else.
I have it right here. A 17-year-old employee working for a Republican running against Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar was shot and killed in Minneapolis. Lacey Johnson, the Republican running for Congress, confirmed on Tuesday that the staff member was killed in a shooting in North Minneapolis, was a member of his team. So it was
probably had nothing to do with the campaign.
No, but when Kenny mentioned that just sparked a...
Right.
Okay.
Well, you have a good memory.
Okay,
Sometimes.
Your black helicopter on Ilhan.
I don't have a black helicopter. I don't trust it.
I do. I mean, thinking that she...
No, I don't need a black helicopter. I think we're beyond that.
But you don't think she came here with political aspirations? Because
yes, I do.
But
Same
Somalis hadn't really
with Omar Fateh. Came here from Virginia.
But they hadn't hit the fast track yet.
Well, she created the fast track.
So you're saying it's not a black helicopter, it's a black limousine.
Yeah.
Just parked right out in front of the house.
Well, they got here in 95, and she was born in 82. So
she was
13
years old.
Yeah.
16.
I couldn't do the math.
You are not great at math.
Well, I'm remaining hopeful that this is all going to be revealed.
By who?
And that could save this Joe Thompson, Walter Hudson.
All right.
In time for Cockwomble to have to resign?
Yes.
Or not resign, but just not run.
Yes. I think let's have a ray of hope. Let's think that things are going to work out.
But let's just say it is, Joe. Let's say there is all this mountain of information.
And that works both ways. If they discover that she's as clean as a whistle and has never cheated a nickel, that's will be nice to discover too.
But let's just say all of that information is discovered. Let's say that mountain of evidence is. We just had a vote, less than a week ago or around a week ago on her, and she's not going to leave office.
What vote was that?
To remove her from just certain.
Censure.
That's not going to happen.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
Even if there is a mountain of evidence, you're thinking she's going to.
No, if a mountain of evidence becomes available to the public, that will take care of that. So far, there's no evidence of anything. Well,
it all depends on who you read, who you believe in. It all depends on your algorithms, basically, this day and age.
That concludes today's Ilhan Omar update.
Play the sounder again?
No, but I have something I want to tell you about EcoFun Motorsports.
Talk to me, brah.
Forest Lake / Columbus, right on Highway 97, immediately west of the internet. Oh, the internet?
Yeah. There's a little
it's west of the interstate.
Yeah, there's a little handle you see the internet right there.
Tim Werner writes, here's a long list of reasons I love my Bentelli e-bike from EcoFun Motorsports. That wind in your hair feeling on the Paul Bunyan Trail, 100% of the fun for 10% of the pedaling work, fully charged every morning and ready to go. Tim and Kaylin Bloom from EcoFun are great to work with, but honestly, my best testament to my e-bike enjoyment is the 2,000 miles I've ridden in my first year.
Wow.
I simply want to ride every day. It's that enjoyable, especially right now in the fall. And that got me thinking, how do I understand 2,000 miles? Here's how. It's the length of the Oregon Trail. It's over 2 million Marjorie Johnsons laid head to toes. It's 14 million Such books laid end to end.
Oh.
Did that many get printed? Oh. No. In honor of my 2,000 milestone, I also decided to calculate when your 2,000th podcast will run, given that your 1,624th was Monday. Drum roll, please. On March 2nd, 2027, you will record and release your 2000th Garage Logic podcast, provided you and the knuckleheads do not take any vacation between now and then. Congratulations in advance. Of course, by then I will have over 5,000 miles on my Bentelli e-bike.
And hit it. It's on a loop.
March 2nd, 2027.
He was giving you the nod.
That's the fun you're going to have with an e-bike. EcoFun Motorsports is the e-bike capital of the world in addition to motorcycles, scooters, youth recreational equipment, water equipment. The winter stuff is rolling in. It's EcoFun Motorsports on Highway 97, just west of 35, and down in Burnsville on the service road of life. Thank you, Tim. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
Football is finally back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Play with as little as $1, and you just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, and lots more. This year, I'll probably stick with some of my favorite players like Josh Jacobs of the Packers. He helped me win money last year by usually going higher on yards rushing. I'll be looking for him to again go higher on rushing yards. It's easy to pick, and it makes watching the games that much more fun. Download the app today and sign up with promo code GARAGE to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Promo code GARAGE. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
And cue the talent. And
the earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
I had to laugh.
I have to laugh. You know, music is great, and I would like to share with you
say anything.
A group that I truly enjoy, and their work is basically music. But it's not. It's Welter Heating, so it's heat and cold and all that kind of stuff. I am enjoying the fact that the Welter family, that's the group I'm talking about. Who did you think I was talking about? Oh! Welter, Rick Welter, and the 4 generations prior to do a fantastic job of serving the metropolitan area, and they will help you with your heating needs, your cooling needs, putting that air conditioning unit to. It is extremely important with our harsh winters that thing be put away properly. If it's done right, it's going to last a long time. Firing up that heating unit, whatever it is, make sure that Welter's there if it's making any noises. I've worked with Welter. They've installed things in my home, and you know what? It was on time. It was on budget. And I truly appreciate their craft. You will, too, by going to welterheating.com. If you call them, a human being answers the phone during business hours, and that's 612-825-6867. The importance of your heating and cooling units and your air purification system, if you have one. Maintaining them is a must. They've got certified techs. On their website, welterheating.com, click on the blog, and you might find answers to questions that you have. Meanwhile, let's get back to Garage Logic and the 120 years of experience and the 8 generations that they have here at Garage Logic with the Souchere Group. It's Reavers, it's Gabe, it's Matt.
Come on. What's going on?
Welterheating.com? Okay.
Well, I read
You lost control early, Joe.
I guess.
I read to you how a civilized, rational GLer thinks about Charlie Kirk. That was Katie Tierney. Beautiful, beautiful sentiments. Here's how you don't. This fellow is employed, meaning you're paying for him, at Mankato State University. His name is Kevin Parsnow. He referred to Kirk as a POS who died of the violence he promoted happening to others, and praised the Vikings for ignoring that racist POS. See, that's not the way Katie would have gone about it.
Yeah.
That's not the way a rational person
Different
deals with
perspective.
it. Mankato State University has responded after one of its professors, this is from Alpha, again made inflammatory comments on social media. He's a political science professor, Kevin Parsnow. He referred to Kirk as a POS. Kirk was assassinated, we know that. Okay. However, many have responded to Kirk's death with disgusting comments, vile sentiments, and other egregious displays. Some of those behaviors resulted in people being suspended or fired from their jobs. Maybe not this guy, though. In a statement to Alpha, Minnesota State University Mankato said the school does not endorse views expressed by employees on their personal social media accounts. At Minnesota State Mankato, our core values include integrity and respect in the way we conduct ourselves and responsibility to those we serve by providing an education that inspires solutions to society's challenges. What that doesn't stop us from hiring these foul characters who work in the political science department. No, I added that.
Oh, that's you.
We uphold our values and our responsibility as public educators to promote a free exchange of ideas. Well, this Parsnow has no ideas. He just has some diatribes. Well, in fact, he has no ideas. That's the problem with the failed academy. What could you possibly learn from him? What could you possibly learn attending this fool's classes?
Nothing.
He's a nitwit. We uphold our values and our responsibility. Okay. Thank you, Mankato. That's great. All university, boy, the statement's a long one. All university faculty, staff, and students are expected to uphold these values in the course of their work. Well, he doesn't. Of course, as U.S. citizens and part of a public institution of higher education, now you're a failed academy. We respect the rights and privileges afforded by the Constitution, including the First Amendment rights protecting the freedom of speech. Now, you could fire him, Mankato, and he wouldn't lose his freedom of speech. You could just disassociate yourself from him. Nothing would stop him from standing on the corner and saying this. Parsnow's recent comments are not the first time his words have drawn attention. Last year, Republican Congressman Brad Finstad called for Parsnow's resignation after the professor talked about the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. You want to know what he said about the death of Brian Thompson?
Do I want to?
In that case, Parsnow replied to a post about the killing by writing, "It's going to be disappointing if he's a one-off killer instead of a serial killer."
Ooh, God.
You can fire this asshole.
Yeah.
You can just fire him.
Yeah.
Joey also said, how long do we really need to look for his killer? Is today good enough, or do they need to look tomorrow?
Well, did you see his excuse?
The professor later told Alpha News, my comment was meant to reflect the tone of the question posed by a friend on social media.
We don't know
it's
that.
Utter nonsense.
He also blamed the Vikings game against Atlanta. Did you see that? He said he was frustrated
I didn't see
by the
that.
result.
You got to be kidding me.
Parsno confirmed in a phone call Monday. He wrote the post, said he was frustrated after watching the Vikings lose to the Falcons.
So that was last year.
That was no Charlie Kirk.
No, that was game number 2.
Kirk.
A week
That was
ago
Charlie
Sunday.
Kirk.
Oh, a week ago Sunday. This is in reference to the Kirk post.
Correct.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's what you get. And we're paying for this guy. We pay his salary as taxpayers.
And the Packers lost Sunday. Wait till you see what I post.
Yeah, what did you post, John? You're a hardcore Packer fan.
Isn't that something, though? That's the failed academy.
Ugh.
What could you possibly learn from someone like this? We now know his bias. We now know his ideology.
Right.
We now know his thinking. We now know how he must enter the classroom with these kinds of thoughts in his mind. How could you possibly be useful to anyone? Certainly not in a balanced sense.
No.
That's what I was going to bring up. So he's a political science professor?
Yeah, which is troubling to me because I think that's one of those classes you can't flunk.
But I was given to understand that you're learning the science of politics, and it sounds to me like he's just lobbying for one side.
Well, of course he is. He's in the failed academy. He's not useful. He's just not useful. Kevin, you get up every morning and you're not useful. And the school apparently is comfortable with saying, well, those are his thoughts. They don't reflect the school. So therefore, I would imagine this fellow is still getting paid. So there you have it. So you have the Katie Tierney way of handling this, or the Kevin Barsno.
I like the KT.
If that's how you pronounce his name, I'm unclear.
The founding fathers certainly didn't anticipate social media, did they?
They really didn't.
When they whip out their phones and they punch in on Instagram.
That's just a shame, though. It's just such a reinforcement of the idea that what a waste to attend school. If that's the case.
I just want to ask, I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Is Viking game frustration now a plausible angle for all of us to take if we make an error on social media?
I got over it, and I was pretty upset.
Not for me.
How about me?
Well, for you.
You've come a long way. How about for Bob?
I would like to address a word to former Senator Nicole Mitchell.
We have breaking news, I believe.
Do you really? I'd like to hear it.
The party guest that just won't leave.
Unless Johnny had this coming up in his news.
I do have it in my news.
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Well, tell us now. What did she get sentenced?
She's been sentenced to 6 months in jail.
180 days on work release in Ramsey County means she'll be confined for 6 months, but will be allowed to leave for work every day, then report back to the jail after her shift, and then she'll be on supervised probation for 5 years and received a stayed 21-month prison sentence. So if she violates the terms of all that, she would have to go to prison for 21 months.
But she's let out every day?
Every day for work.
Does she need a ride?
You know what I would say is, young lady, you've received every possible benefit known to the human race. You were caught. You know you did it. And then you began a series of receiving every possible benefit available. You used your stature to stay in the state Senate. You even voted for yourself to do so. You campaigned to have the trial delayed. You were successful. You've done everything possible to try to get yourself off the hook here, but you're guilty of first-degree burglary and the possession of burglary tools. I believe the trial was just as recently as just this past July, even though the crime was the previous year. You used every possible means to try to get a lighter sentence, to ask for understanding, and on and on and on and on. Young lady, this could have been over with last year. You'd already be done completely. The delay is all on you. You brought it on yourself. It's just a shame that it had to go on this long. In many cases, at great expense to the taxpayer, including paying your salary for another year, which you should not have served. A special election will be held for her seat November 4th. The primary for her seat was held on August 26th, won by Amanda Hemmingson-Jagger on the DFL ticket and Dwight Doro on the Republican side. I don't know why people in Woodbury will want to take a chance on another DFLer, but perhaps they will. But goodness gracious, what have we learned from her experience? More importantly, I wonder what she learned. I don't think she learned anything. She played every card she could come up with. Her lawyers played every card she could come up with. This all could have been done more than a year ago.
Right.
You could have been done. But no, we're going to drag it all out. And now she even has a sentence that allows her to leave jail every day and go to work. I don't know how she's employed. I don't know what she's employed. Does anyone? Staff? Anyone?
I don't.
No.
Anyone?
And that's why she wanted to stay in because she wanted to extend her benefits.
Could somebody look that up?
Sure. I can look that up. I don't think she's going to be doing weather.
I don't know. She was a former weather person.
There are some openings.
And then
she had a new job in the food service industry as of
feeding our future.
Every perk, Joe. Every perk.
Everything is food.
Every perk.
As of September 2025. So this month, apparently, she has a new job.
In the food industry.
In the food industry, and that's all I'm finding at this point.
Wow. You know what? What a redemption story. She's going from career criminal to now she's
not career criminal.
Allegedly. To now she's going to feed starving kids.
We don't know that either.
Was she on any committee?
Wait a minute. She's not Ma Barker, Chris.
Criminal.
Yeah,
it's a one-time deal.
You're way off the track.
Did she serve on any feeding committees?
No.
Yeah. Is that where she got her?
Stop the presses. We've said what we're going to say. She's
we're not going to say anymore.
That's right, Chris. We're not going to. This is an example of she certainly used her privilege.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Would it be white privilege or just her privilege as a woman? I wonder.
Oh, that's a good question.
Maybe it was her privilege as a white woman. And a state senator who was rallied around by her peers because they needed her vote. They have no character.
But they put their foot down once the session was over.
Right. Zero character. You got to really be careful who you vote for. But in this state, we're pretty excited about those leaves changing color.
Is it peeping season?
It's getting there. We're in for a good peeping season. That's what I've been hearing in any event. I'm looking, Chris. I'm looking.
Okay.
Say extra is ordinary in Sioux Falls. Get it? Extraordinary? Look at the numbers. In addition to having a business-friendly tax environment with no personal or corporate state income taxes, Sioux Falls is growing. There's 300,000 people. Has a large, well-educated workforce. Cost of living is low, centrally located. Rated best small city for business and careers by Forbes magazine. I think we're showing you video right now of the work underway. There's great industrial parks, a ready and willing workforce. They welcome entrepreneurs. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax in South Dakota. No inheritance tax. No limits to what your business can achieve. Find out much more at Sioux Falls Development, one word, SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Let's talk about our friends at We Are Nuts and WeAreNutsMN.com. Got a great email from Gary. Hi, guys. This is the GL trifecta, by the way. I went into the New Hope Fratelloni's hardware and garden stores last week with the intention of buying some We Are Nuts. I grabbed a few flavors, and while in the checkout line, I noticed a Masters Maples display. Well, I guess I needed some of that as well while I was at it. From previous trips to the store, I know they don't carry Seafoam. What the hell? I was on a roll. I would have bought one just because, just saying, Gary. Well, Gary,
had the trifecta.
He would have been, absolutely would have been the GL trifecta. So that's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. A great family-owned operation making great snacks here in the great state of Minnesota. And right now, you got a couple of days left to take advantage of this. Through the end of the month of September, We Are Nuts is on sale, 25% off at all Kowalski's markets and Lund's and Byerly's. You're going to see those really cool end caps there at both of those locations, in addition to the Fratelloni's end caps that are taking place. The cinnamon toffee peanuts are a big hit in my household, but man, oh man, if you want to see the entire lineup, whether it's the cashews, I know the mayor picked up a batch of those as well over the weekend. It's great snacks, it's a great family, and it's a great partner here at We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com.
For 25 years, Trump often aggravates me, much to the disappointment of the listeners. But when he's good, he's good. For 25 years, I've been wondering, what's the purpose of the UN? What have they ever accomplished?
You have been saying that.
I get them out of my country. Trump just lit him up today. He gave his remarks at the UN, and he just he left the UN members gobsmacked because he said, "Yeah, you people, your countries are failing." And I just like the fact that he doesn't like the UN. Get away from the green scam, or your countries will fail. Well, the UN is pushing the green agenda. He complained about renewable energy, calling it useless and warning it was leading Europe to the brink of destruction because the UN's big on renewable. Because the UN's pretty much dedicated to ruining the United States as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
He said there was tremendous oil in the North Sea, tremendous. And the UK should use more of it, adding he told Sir Keir Starmer about this 3 days in a row. And sadly, in all cases, the UN did not even try to help in any of them. The president joked about two things the UN gave him, a broken escalator and a faulty teleprompter. He said, I've never even received a phone call from the UN offering to help in finalizing the deal, meaning the use of oil by Europe. All I get from the UN was an escalator on the way up that stopped right in the middle, and then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the two things I got from the United Nations. Trump warned in his speech about the nuclear threat the world faces and said there is no more serious danger to our planet today, because the UN would have you believe the most serious threat to the planet today is climate change. Trump is correct. The most serious threat is nuclear war. He asked NATO's European members to stop buying Russian oil and prevent funding Russia's war machine against Ukraine. He had these people looking at each other. I love it. He went on to hail progress. Of course, then he got, Trump went on to hail progress since his return to the White House, saying the U.S. is the hottest country anywhere in the world. He claimed he solved 7 wars. I don't know. The president who is said to be in a campaign mode to win the Nobel Prize for Peace, and then everyone says he should get it.
Yeah,
everyone says
I haven't heard that chatter.
Everyone should
all
get
the people.
that. All the people say I should get it. The future does not belong to globalists. Thank you. The future belongs to patriots. I agree. If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty. And if you want peace, love your nation. The UK needs to open up the North Sea and get rid of windmills. Stop relying on Russian oil and start drilling again. That's how you save your economy. This is all an enema to the UN, what they believe. If we ever use nuclear or biological weapons, the world literally might come to an end. There will be no UN to be talking about. There will be no nothing. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. Your countries are going to hell. Climate change is the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world. He's correct. Climate's always changing. The UN has such great potential, but right now it's just a club for people to get out together, talk, and have a good time. So sad. It's just one giant cocktail party is all it is. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. He said, everyone says that I should get the Nobel Prize for each of these achievements, but for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious wars. Good for you. Good for you. I just can't say how much I loathe the UN. Name me something they've accomplished. Name me something.
Can't do it.
So there you have it. He's at the UN. He was on fire, and that's fine with me. The UN is a dreadful, dreadful con game, and it has nothing to do. It just drains money. They've done nothing for the world, and it's like he said. They sit around and talk. It's one giant cocktail hour, and I don't know why they should have that prime real estate. Trump should have been able to have that real estate to build something. So there you have it. I just wanted to acknowledge that I've been saying the same thing for 25 years. The UN's a fake, and I'm glad that he said those remarks.
Did you hear when he did say there was a great developer in New York, Donald J. Trump? I just thought, no, one step too far.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he did say that. Yes.
I've been telling some people with the derangement syndrome, if you don't start laughing at this character once in a while, you're missing out. Because there's some great theater here. There's some great theater. And I'm not even saying that today was theater. I think he's sincere when he says those things. I think he's sincere when he doesn't want war. I don't know what he's done about it. I don't know the 70s ended, but he says he did. He should get the Pulitzer Prize. No, not the Pulitzer.
Nobel.
Oh, he wants that too. He wants the Nobel Prize.
How about it? Can we throw an Oscar at him? Maybe an Emmy?
A Grammy.
What's the Broadway? The
Tonys?
Tony. Get him a Tony.
Throw them all at him.
Get them all.
Line them up. That'd be fun.
Here's John Haidt in his newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company, a story we talked about a bit here. Former Minnesota Senator Nicole Mitchell has avoided a lengthy prison sentence for burglarizing her stepmom's home, at least for now. A Becker County judge sentencing Mitchell to 180 days on work release in Ramsey County. That means she'll be confined for roughly 6 months, but will be allowed to leave for work each day, then report back to the jail after her shift. A little digging showed that she does have a new job, and it is in the food industry, but they are not identifying where she works. Is supposed to be a hostess, maybe? What?
Maybe she wears plastic gloves and makes chicken salad at lunch or something, yeah.
She'll also have to spend 5 years on supervised probation and get a stayed 21-month prison sentence. If she violates the terms of her probation, Mitchell would then have to serve that prison time. The state had asked for a stronger sentence and opposed allowing Mitchell to serve her sentence outside Becker County. To allow Mitchell to get her first paycheck and qualify for work release in Ramsey County, the judge ordered Mitchell to report for her sentence by October 8th or whenever she gets her first check, if sooner.
Where, John, does she have to stay overnight?
Ramsey County.
Yes, well, she's gotten every break you can possibly get as a criminal.
Does she get a parking spot? How does that work?
I swear to God, Kenny, I bet there is.
I would hope it's in a ramp.
Yeah.
The maximum sentence for the crime would have been 20 years, although it was expected she wouldn't get that sentence. And as we found out, she did not get that sentence. I did get a Facebook message last evening. We had a correspondent there.
Well, I didn't know that.
At the sentencing. Yeah, Engie.
Oh, God almighty.
I'll be there, he said.
I would have put him in prison for 6 months just for being Engie.
Did he have a GL sign with him?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. He said to me on Facebook,
oh, no.
I have... He said, I have to be at the Becker County Courthouse tomorrow morning. So I answered with, oh, what'd you get convicted of? He found that amusing.
Yeah.
See, I knew I was going. But,
I hope he wasn't having one of those suit faces on a fan deal.
in the courtroom.
The mirrored helmet.
State and local authorities are investigating the circumstances around a child's death at a daycare facility in Savage. A city spokesperson confirmed that Savage police are jointly investigating the death at Rocking Horse Ranch Childcare with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Investigators have not released many details about what happened, but they say an infant died at the facility and an autopsy has been ordered to determine the cause of death. Additionally, police say families with kids who attend Rocking Horse Ranch should closely monitor their children, seek immediate medical attention if they exhibit altered mental status, unusual behavioral changes, or other concerning symptoms. Other than that, police are releasing no details, and they're asking anyone with information that could aid in the investigation to call them at 952-882-2601.
John,
yes.
In your news, do you have any update on this woman who flipped her car on the...
I do. Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? Let's just go right to that story right here. Update to that story we had yesterday. A woman has been charged in connection with a suspected drunk driving crash that killed her 18-month-old. 28-year-old Rachel Peliquin faces one count of criminal vehicular homicide. As we told you yesterday, first responders sent to a crash on Highway 36 near Highway 61 in Maplewood just before 6:30 Saturday night. They found a black Chevy Tahoe flipped onto its roof and partially submerged in swampy pond 30 feet from the road. Rescuers frantically tried to save the toddler, but he was declared deceased at the scene. According to court documents, Peliquin admitted to smoking marijuana earlier in the day and added that she, quote, had a couple of shots the night prior. But according to court documents, Peliquin's preliminary blood alcohol concentration over double the legal limit at 0.172. State troopers also found 3 empty fireball shooters on the road alongside the SUV's trajectory.
I don't know how she could ever get her life together when she dries out and realizes what happened to that 18-month-old. I'm rooting for you, lady, to get your life together, but I don't know how you can.
She had a history of driving offenses and suspended licenses, and she told them that it was wet and her tires were
No, she
worn,
was hammered and she killed her kid.
Property tax news. Brooklyn Park Mayor and City Council set next year's maximum property tax increase, pushing back against city staff's 12.5% proposal. The proposal from the mayor and the council would be 8% as the maximum tax. Earlier this month, Brooklyn Park's budget team shared why a 12.5% property tax increase would be needed, from wage increases for city staff and increasing health insurance costs to investments into technology and public safety and lack of state funding. They said were all factors landing on that number. So do you think it's weird that we're seeing 8% as a victory? 8% tax increase?
It's a shame, isn't it?
That's what I thought when I read it. In Otsego, property taxes could go up by 19%. The Otsego City Council takes a first vote on the increase next week. City Administrator Adam Flaherty said the increase is because Otsego is starting its own fire department and building a new fire station. On Monday night, the council voted 3-1 in favor of a 19.3% increase. The Otsego City Council will end up taking a final vote on that tax hike.
Where's Otsego?
It's just south of Elk River.
Yeah, kind of right next door to me almost.
Oh,
yeah,
right
101.
Right in the metro.
Yeah, 101 north of Rogers.
Oh.
Yeah.
And between 1,500 and 2,000 students and other supporters honored Charlie Kirk at the University of Minnesota last night, one of the first college campus events Turning Point USA has held since Kirk was assassinated September 10th. Before his death, Kirk was scheduled to speak at the U. Last night, conservative author Michael Knowles headlined the Monday event. Why don't we take a quick break here and hear from our friend Kenny Olson.
John, you ordered coffee from customroasting.net. Do you remember the website?
No, I just went to, the Google.
Let me re-ask that question. John, you ordered coffee from customroasting.net. Do you remember the website?
That'd be customroasting.net, Kenny.
Thank you, John. do you remember Stephen? I'm sure you did, because he leaves an impression on people.
I met Stephen, remember? I went over and visited him and built some more Boundary Waters because I like it so much.
Stephen is he's a GLer first and foremost, but, well, maybe he's second, I should say. First and foremost, he's the head roaster at Custom Roasting in Buffalo, Minnesota. They do things the GL way. They keep the business nimble and agile, but at the same time able to fill big orders if they have to quickly with the best blends and the freshest coffee you're ever going to have. Everything that customroasting.net does is right on target, like taking orders and only roasting beans that they have orders for, and that keeps the coffee fresh. Here's the process. You go to the website. What's that website? customroasting.net. You pick your blend, or if you're unfamiliar or you want to try their recommendation, get the GL starter pack. You put in the order, they get it, they roast up the beans, then they send it out. Or like John did, make an appointment and you can stop in and pick them up right there in Buffalo. It's your call, whatever you want. But I have a fresh new tip for you. I love this. I just learned this. Order a big bag of beans so you can keep your coffee scoop in the bag. Why? Because the bags are absolutely amazing. If you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing them right now. Ziploc, heavy-duty Ziploc bags, and that really helps keep the coffee fresh at home. The roaster he uses, top-of-the-line convection. That means no flame, no fire, and that makes for a much more even roast. And you will taste the difference when you brew up a pot. Order them either whole bean or ground up, and be sure to check out the GL starter pack when you go to the website. It's customroasting.net, a brilliant cup of coffee at a reasonable price. One more time, everybody together, customroasting.net. Thank you.
And now, a man who has never had a relationship with a tree, Joe Souchere.
So, check this on out. I stopped in at North American Banking Company yesterday afternoon, Roseville location.
You a little lighter on cash after that stop?
Boy, I'll say. Here's the deal, though. Here's why I like going into North American Banking Company. Right away, boom, 3 people ready to help me out. And absolutely every single person addressed me by my first name. It's banking done differently, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? They sit down. Would you like something to drink? I said, you know what? No, I'm good right now, unless you get whiskey. I'm kidding. But anyway, but the thing is, it's banking done differently at North American Banking Company, and they treat you wonderfully. And you get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's Roseville, like I did yesterday afternoon, or 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. Their people are phenomenal, and the customer service is exceptional, and they offer all of the services as the other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been dreaming about, my friends at North American Banking Company are going to be able to help you out. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but like I've mentioned, the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. So you can check them out online for yourself right now at nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Johnny?
Thank you, Chris. Meanwhile, let's see. At the UN, Joe, you already talked about President Trump's speech.
Go Trumpy!
So let me tell you about yesterday when the U.S. Secret Service had to dismantle a massive hidden telecom network across the New York area. A system investigators say could have crippled cell towers, jammed 911 calls, and flooded networks with chaos at the very moment everybody was showing up for the UN. The cache, now I'm not going to pretend to understand this, maybe you guys will. The cache, made up of more than 300 SIM servers packed with over 100,000 SIM cards and clustered within 35 miles of the United Nations, represented one of the most sweeping communications threats uncovered on U.S. soil. Investigators warn the system could have blacked out cellular service in the city. The city relies on it not only for daily life, but for emergency response and counterterrorism. Coming as foreign leaders filled midtown hotels and motorcades clogged Manhattan, officials say the takedown highlighted a new frontier of risk, plots aimed at the invisible infrastructure that keeps the city connected. This whole thing was uncovered as part of a broader Secret Service investigation into telecommunications threats targeting senior government officials, according to investigators. Officials say they haven't uncovered the direct plot to disrupt the UN General Assembly, and note as of right now there are no more known credible threats to New York City. The special agent in charge of all this for the Secret Service, and I just am mentioning this because I love his name, Matt McCool.
Ooh, oh, cool.
Matt
cool.
McCool.
I wonder if he knows McLovin.
You guys aren't old enough, but there was a cartoon of a secret agent called Cool McCool.
Really?
You guys don't remember that, do you?
I must
No.
be so young that I don't remember.
Was that back during the Dust Bowl
It
years?
was in the 60s. Cool McCool. And he'd always say, danger is my business.
Huh.
All right, moving
Joe,
right along.
Johnny,
Before you move.
Oh, let me just ask a question about that. I've seen some of the pictures of the sim things.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with the teleprompter breaking down? Do we know?
Okay.
That's a good
You're
point.
right on my target, Matthew. I was going to ask Joe for $1 million. Tell all of us what a SIM card is.
Well, that's the card that you has an electronic board on it, and you install that in the back of a camera.
Well,
oh my God, I owe you $1 million.
Yeah.
Joe, can you borrow me $1 million?
I need to pay
No, and
back.
I also can't lend you $1 million.
You nailed it.
Oh.
You nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and our phones all have SIM cards. That
They
is
do.
as much
And
as I knew.
Tell me,
Printed circuitry.
if you buy a game, a trail camera, or a dash cam, why isn't the SIM card included? What is wrong with you people? Just put the SIM card in. Don't make us dum-dums go shop for a SIM card.
Well,
Thank you.
President Trump this morning abruptly canceling this week's planned meeting with congressional Democratic leaders, refusing to negotiate over their demands to shore up health care funding as part of a deal to prevent a potential looming federal government shutdown, which is scheduled to happen next Wednesday, October 1st. In a lengthy social media post, the president rejecting the sit-down that he had agreed to yesterday. It would have been the first time the Republican president had met with Democratic Party leaders Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries since his return to the White House. Democratic proposal right now would extend enhanced health insurance subsidies set to expire at the end of the year and reverse Medicaid cuts that were included in the Republicans' big tax breaks and spending cuts bill enacted earlier this year. Republicans have said the Democrats' demands to reverse the Medicaid changes are a non-starter, but they've also said there is time to address the health insurance subsidy issue in the months ahead. Federal officials yesterday announcing a possible association between the development of autism and a pregnant individual's use of acetaminophen, the active ingredient in the common over-the-counter pain reliever Tylenol. They recommend pregnant individuals limit use of the drug to cases such as high fever or severe pain. The Food and Drug Administration said it'll update safety labels with the risks of acetaminophen. However, the agency added that while there may be an association between autism and the drug, current scientific evidence has not established a causal relationship. Scientists have researched a potential link between autism and acetaminophen for years, but studies have delivered mixed results. The FDA also approved leucovorin as a possible treatment for autism symptoms.
Autism was first identified in the early part of the 20th century, and I don't think Tylenol came along until, post-World War II?
1950, I think, was the date I saw.
So I have nothing else to add to that. I'm just telling you some numbers.
We, the three of us at least, do our best to avoid acetam. I say acetaminophen.
It might be. I don't
know. And ibuprofen for that matter, too.
I just don't like taking anything.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a headache, I mean, what is one pill?
I sometimes gut it out.
Yeah. Drink a glass of water.
Yeah.
If it's an occasional headache.
Yeah, and I'll take ibuprofen if I'm really sore, but it'll happen once every 2 months. It's not.
But I have no idea about pregnancy and acetaminophen.
The roommate
just
pushes
pregnancy in general, right?
She pushes that stuff on me like she's on the board of directors or something. She is really into that stuff.
I think your wife and my wife would get along just fine.
I'm sure it has its uses.
Jimmy Kimmel's show will be back tonight on
This
ABC.
is way too much information about Kimmel. Who gives a bleep that this guy got fired?
Okay, but let's.
He did get
fired. He got suspended.
Well, whatever. Who cares?
70 stations.
Yeah. Well, he
70.
Did
70
he
are
lose?
boycotting or 70 are playing it?
Did he lose his right to free speech?
How about we listen to the news story?
I don't want to.
Disney and ABC will bring Kimmel back to its schedule starting tonight after a decision to take the show off the air for an indefinite period of time. Disney's decision to bench one of its signature personalities came after two major station owners, Nexstar Media and Sinclair, said they would preempt his program after a Kimmel monologue last Monday during which he offered remarks tied to the death of Charlie Kirk. Those announcements came after Federal Communications Commission Chair Brendan Carr appeared to suggest to broadcasters they ought to work to curb Kimmel and force ABC to remove him from its schedule. Meanwhile, Sinclair and Nexstar are saying they won't air Kimmel's shows starting tonight. Sinclair says that's just for now and says they're still in talks with ABC about the show. Yesterday, 400 celebrities, including people who have created memorable characters for the Disney franchises like Tom Hanks and Martin Short, signed a letter from the American Civil Liberties Union decrying the blow as a maneuver delivered against free speech.
It's not.
In America.
He did not lose his free speech. You can get fired or suspended. Happens every day.
What happens when you hate's a strong word, when you dislike Jimmy Kimmel as much as you dislike the fella that runs the FCC? What do you call that?
Boy, you got a conundrum.
Yeah. I hope they both lose.
Yeah.
But isn't this once again...
Why don't we even have an FCC? If we have the First Amendment, what do we need an FCC for?
There you go. I have a long-standing dislike with the FCC.
I think if we didn't have an FCC, we could probably play music.
Perhaps.
And somebody should tell these celebrities to shut up. I don't care what any of you have to say.
Ricky Gervais will.
Yeah.
But doesn't this once again, I know I said the same thing last week, this all boils down to a business decision made by each entity. If
I was in the business, if I was in the corporate office and I was having these thoughtful talks with Jimmy Kimmel, I'd say, you ever consider maybe trying to do the show for more than half the country?
That's the old Carson the way of doing business, middle America.
I know, we're not supposed to bring Carson up because everybody criticizes us because nobody remembers Carson.
Why do you think ABC is bringing him back? Is
money.
that a business decision also then?
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Maybe they lost money.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably the answer.
Yeah, money rules the world.
Well, the buyout was probably too significant, Johnny. Is that what you're trying to suggest?
No, they could have suspended him forever if they wanted to.
But then he could have filed a lawsuit.
What John is saying is he's an earner.
And I said about 5 minutes ago, this is too much Jimmy Kimmel talk.
Hey, are we taking the show tonight? Hubbard?
What?
Is Hubbard taking the show tonight?
I have no idea.
I would assume.
I would predict record numbers for that show tonight.
Enormous.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I bet it's going to be on one of the many TVs in the mayor's home. Not the one mayor's watching, but one of the other ones.
Ball game, yeah.
Carmen the Cheeseman D'Annunzio, known as one of the last of Boston's old-school mobsters, died Sunday at the age of 68. D'Annunzio had been dealing with health problems in recent years, including 2 strokes. His former attorney, Anthony Cardinale, said he was just a really good guy. He was a serious man, very respected man, but he was also a big-hearted guy, and he was a gracious guy, very well-read. Surprisingly, retired Massachusetts State Police Major Pasquale Rosalillo, who ran the organized crime unit, agreed. He said D'Annunzio was very charismatic, very respectful, not only to his own people in the neighborhood, but to members of law enforcement. Rosalillo recalled times when he and his partner, Nunzio Orlando, and his boss, Jack O'Malley, would sit down with the mafia boss at a sub shop, in his words, to break bread with them. He said he knew we had a game to do, and if he got caught, he understood what the ramifications were. D'Annunzio earned the nickname the Cheese Man from running fresh cheese in Boston's North End for years. He gave up the cheese shop after pleading guilty to federal charges in 2009 for conspiring to bribe a state official to secure a big contract. That same year, he also pleaded guilty to state extortion and illegal gambling charges, resulting in a 6-year federal prison sentence. Today's mafia in Boston is a shell of its former self, according to law enforcement. Cardinale said the law enforcement unfairly portrayed D'Annunzio. He said they created the image and then they decided they're going to take it down. Rosalillo disagreed, saying there's also a boss of a gang and Carmen was the boss. However, both men, law enforcement and lawyer, agreed D'Annunzio was one of a kind.
I'm sorry I missed the beginning. Did he die?
68.
Yes, 68.
That's pretty young.
Yeah.
He had a couple of strokes. So
Yeah.
he was not in
Is that
good
him?
health.
Holy crap. He's a moose.
Well, no wonder he died.
Right.
He was a
cheese man
man.
for other
Yeah.
reasons,
Well, he
too.
was he was large. He was morbidly obese.
Yeah,
He liked his
morbidly.
cheese.
Yeah.
And a Chinese man went viral after spending almost an hour with his head stuck in a traffic light after he crashed into the light on an electric scooter.
Wow.
Shockingly.
Wait a minute.
It's a good cartoon
Yes,
bubble.
Chris.
How do you?
I'll get there.
We don't know, Chris.
I'll get there. You'll
Let
see.
the
You'll see
man
in
tell
just
us.
a minute. You'll see in just a moment. A shockingly bizarre traffic accident got a lot of attention on Chinese social media last month when the man driving an electric scooter crashed, Chris, into a temporary traffic light in the city of Chengdu. So it was like a miniature, traffic light. Following the impact, the man's head somehow became stuck inside the light. Firefighters were called to free him from the unusual cage. That was easier said than done, however, as even the first responders spent about 40 minutes cutting away at the metal casing to safely release the man's head.
Oh, boy.
The man was then taken to a local hospital. He's made a full recovery. A Reddit user said a head-on collision, but only with light damage. No laughter.
I got it, yeah. But instead of a green light, you just saw his face.
That's correct. And
How
in
would
fact,
you like to be the guy on the Sawzall? Oh, my Lord. Oh, don't take his ear off.
you are correct, Joe. You saw only the green light, and someone else online commented that he looked like the comic book hero, the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Actually, I have the quote right here, Rook. The Chinese guy. Do you know what he said? How this happened? How
Well, this is going to be weak.
crashed.
I fear
into
this will be weak.
How he
Much of a
crashed in.
buildup,
He
yeah.
said, "We too low."
I thought it was Dang Bang Ow.
No,
I knew it would be weak.
we too low.
Yeah.
The traffic
Sometimes maybe run those through your head before.
John, thank you.
Driving right off the road.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome very much, sir.
Thank you.
Shay.
I want to remind you, if you need a new garage door, get a hold of Precision Door and do it before the weather breaks, because you don't want to be fooling with that in the dead of winter. And you get a free on-site new door estimate with one of Precision Door's garage door designers. They have models for every budget. And it'll improve the aesthetics. It'll save energy because it'll work and fit better. It'll provide better security because they can marry that new door to all the security you already have in place. They're sturdy, insulated, and a well-maintained garage door will get you through the winter. You don't want to come out there on the dead of July or January and have that thing not work. Book online at Precision Door MN. That's one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Joe, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the young one working for us now just put a survey up on Twitter, X. Question: is the United Nations useful in the United States?
Yeah.
5.9 people have said no. 94.1 people say, excuse me, I screwed it all up. Sorry, Gabe. 5.9 people say yes, the UN is useful. 94.1 say no.
What's a 0.9 person?
He missed percent.
Oh,
34 votes. I really screwed that up big time,
I'm
didn't
really,
I?
really regretting you brought that up.
Gabe, I'm very sorry.
There's a fellow on a lake in Wisconsin. I saw this on Care 11. His name is Dylan Durheim. And this kid, I'm tipping my cap to him because you know how you get the ice cream truck in the summer that comes through the city streets and the bell rings? He's doing this on the lake. He's got 500 customers. He loads the pontoon boat up with ice cream.
$1 million
and he goes
idea.
around the lake. And he has more than 500 cabins surround the lake. This is Bone Lake. At one point or another, each summer weekend, each is serenaded by Turkey in the Straw. That's the song he's playing as he motors around the lake, and it's called Dylan's Desserts, and they all come down to the end of the dock, and he's got the stuff,
sure.
and then his mom might replenish supplies or ice. She'll ski over to him on the jet ski with supplies.
I got some more popsicles.
Oh, this is fantastic, and I'll tell you why. On account of I'll tell you why. Because he's not in the house on his phone. Okay, he's not on his computer.
An entrepreneur.
He's not on his computer. He's not playing video games. And he's now, granted, not every kid in the country, has a pontoon boat in the front yard.
True.
But he's taking advantage of his situation. It's the second year he's done this. He bought the boat from his brother. From his brother Tyler, who left for college after 3 years of running the business. He called Tyler's Treats, and this kid turned it into Dylan's Desserts. And he. The driver of the boat is his dad. He said, I loaned my other son the money, too, so I think I've bought the boat twice, technically, at this point, the dad said. When they hear the music, it's like a Pied Piper. All the kids around the lake run down to the end of the dock, and the dads have to pull dough out of their wallet. I think this is fantastic. And a couple of grand a week he can do on a good week.
Did you mention the stats on Bone Lake?
I don't have the stats on Bone Lake.
1,781 acres.
Boy, it just about meets my cutoff. That's legit.
It's a long lake. Yeah. It's long and narrow. Yeah. Features about 12.5 miles of shoreline. Didn't you say 400 homes? 500. 500 homes.
500 cabins.
Nice.
And more power to the kid. I think it's a nifty idea because you know what he is? He's an entrepreneur.
Here, here. Here, here.
Yeah. And there's pictures of happy kids here with their ice cream. And isn't that a nice little note?
It is.
Should we do that with the pontoon? With
you could do that.
Cirrhosis.
With cirrhosis?
You could do that.
Do you know what you're supposed to do with ice cream trucks that drive around the neighborhood when you have a lot of kids around? You tell them that if they're playing music, they're out of ice cream and they're going to get more.
Well, that's terrible.
That's just saves you about $25.
That's what any good father would do.
That's mean.
If the siren's on, their music's on, they're out of ice cream, they're going to come back.
I can't go home, Joe, without doing this again. I can't live with myself unless I get this right.
Well, get it right then.
Gabe posted on Garage Logic Podcast on Twitter, is the United Nation useful in the United States? 4.3% of people said yes, it is. 95.7% of GLers say no, it's not.
I understood that perfectly.
Thank you, and all apologies to Gabe.
The family of Sophia Forchast, the 12-year-old shot at Annunciation, has released new information. She's doing well, and here's how well. She is going to leave acute care and move to inpatient rehab this week. That's just fantastic news. Now, I've tried to analyze why I feel this child's recovery is special. Because I think she's sending a big message to morons. You want me? You shot up my church, my school. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not giving in. I'm not giving in. I hope this kid makes it all the way back. And that's a really good sign that she's going to rehab. Only because they come to us all the way from Sant Martí, Barcelona, Spain, from the Traveling Linemen's. It was on this day,
September 23rd,
1805. Zebulon Pike met with a group of Metawankton, Dakota, led by Ta Oyet Duda, his Red Nation, also called Little Crow, grandfather of the warrior of 1862, and Wanyanka Nazin, he sees standing up. Pike left the meeting with what he saw as their permission to take 100,000 acres of their land. The agreement, however, was an informal one, not an official treaty, and was never proclaimed by a U.S. president. So Zeb got 100,000 acres there. On this day,
September 23rd,
in 1857, in a homemade balloon, William Marcoux lifted off from St. Paul and landed near Cannon Falls in Minnesota's first balloon ascension. A second flight on October 8, a feature of a territorial fair, reached White Bear Lake. The name Marcoux has long been a family around White Bear Lake. I wonder if it goes back that far.
The Marcoux?
Yeah. On this day,
on September 23rd,
in 1862, soldiers under General Henry H. Sibley defeated Dakota warriors in the Battle of Wood Lake in Yellow Medicine County. Although this battle traditionally marked the end of the U.S.-Dakota Wars, Sibley and General Alfred Sully undertook punitive expeditions against the Dakota the following year. On this day,
on September 23rd,
beautiful fall day on this day,
you sure?
1897, the library of the Ramsey County Medical Society was established when Dr. Edmund Beckman donated the profits from his development of an improved method of preparing catgut for surgical use. So this guy came up with
means.
He came up with this the means to stitch up a wound.
Where'd you find the dead cat?
Not a problem. I can get you a dead cat. On this day in sports disappointment history.
Who'd we lose to on September 23rd?
Well, on this day in 2018, the Vikings lost to your Bills by 21 points after being favored by 16.
I was there.
Next words out of my mouth.
Was that in Buffalo?
No, I was here.
Oh.
And I remember walking in with a group of contingent.
Yeah.
And it was already 14-0, and I said, boy, this is going the wrong way.
We're going to get out of here quick.
Was that it? That was in the new building.
The new facility, yes, sir.
Well,
Kirk Cousins was your starting quarterback.
I see.
That's when Josh Allen leapt over Anthony Barr in that famous photo.
Can't do that.
That was that game.
Well, that's wonderful, but it ended up being a sports disappointment.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, GLers.
Please do us a favor if you have not done so already. I would recommend you subscribe to the Garage Logic YouTube channel, because on that YouTube channel, you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. You can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind the scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube and search for us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to the inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. You can find out more and sign up right now at garagelogic.com. Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic, and now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I did use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice, and he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, oh boy, Josh, you are telling everybody right now to please, please, please just be careful.
Just be careful, Chris. The next couple weeks could be a little bit on the volatile side. One old market saying, sell Rosh Hashanah, which starts today, buy Yom Kippur, which is next week. And what do we have to start this fine Rosh Hashanah, the start of the Jewish New Year, and wishing all a happy and healthy New Year. May your year be filled with joy, health, happiness, and much success. This is a typically volatile time in the market. The time before the end of the quarter. It is a time when mutual funds operating on a fiscal year typically complete their tax loss selling, which adds to the volatility. Not to mention, you have many analysts starting to guess what companies are going to be reporting for the quarter without that many companies showing their quarterly reports. Add to that a lot of Fed speak to either defend or attack Fed policy relating to cutting interest rates or leaving interest rates alone for the balance of the year. And that affects things on a macro level. And then add to that Congress trying to decide whether to continue or not continue operating the government. Congress and the Senate right now are on, we'll say, a recess, and the government is scheduled to shut down unless there's some type of reconciliation bill passed next week. And of course, you have the typical hue and cry, well, we'll shut the government down unless we get, this benefit or that benefit. And now, in the Senate, one party is saying, well, we'll shut the government down unless we get an extension of Obamacare tax credits. And we want those extended now rather than taking up a separate debate later. All it is in Washington with both Congress and the Senate. They have not been able to pass a budget for years. Fault lies on, we'll say, a pox on both houses. That adds, we'll say, to the downside possibility. On the positive side, because I do like to look at the positive side of things. Favorite Apple got a very nice boost yesterday, just finishing shy of their recent high, not to mention getting several price target upgrades on the back of strong sales over this past weekend of their new iPhone 17. T-Mobile reported best sales ever going forward, and there are reports that sales backups are up to 18 days, which is almost twice what it was at the same time for the iPhone 16. So that's potential positive news for Apple. I still am of the belief that Apple is going to be a big winner in artificial intelligence, particularly given the number of devices that Apple has, giving their platform a leg up on everybody else. And then there is the leader currently in AI, NVIDIA, which cut a huge $100 billion investment deal with OpenAI. Says the need for compute is up big, and that tie-up is going to be also a benefit to companies like Nebius and CoreWeave. So that could be interesting again, and I do believe, and I've stated this numerous times, that artificial intelligence as a theme for investing could well continue for a long while. We'll call artificial intelligence the Internet 3.0 going forward. But this coming next few weeks, at least until the start of earnings season, could well be, a little bit more volatile. It would be imperative to keep the asset allocation model that I've recommended of keeping up to 30% in cash, both for safety and to take advantage of any of the opportunities that could present, and the balance invested in quality growth names focused, at least in my view, on companies around the internet and leisure.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
We will definitely look forward to it, and I hope, Chris, that you got a chance to see in person or on TV Farm Aid.
I sure did, Josh.
Okay, fantastic concert.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You got it.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.